Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
So I did it for you. I did it for you. It's not for me. I just did it for you. I made one shirt for me with the upside down flag. You all seem to love it. So I put the link. I know, thankfully, Bongino didn't zap me too. Being a moderator, I guess I'm allowed to post links. That's pretty cool. If you want the shirt from yesterday, Guy, throw it up on the screen. Store.bongino.com. You see it. Take a screenshot. We'll put it up later in the show. You see upside down flag. I'm voting for the outlaw. Up to you. I'm not a clothing manufacturer. I'm not FUBU here. You guys like the shirt. There it is at the site. It's because I love you. Store.bongino.com. I'm voting for the outlaw. Big upside down flag. We move fast here. We move fast. You ask me what you want, I give it to you. I got a big show today. Fauci blows up. It's so great, right? That YouTube, after I quit YouTube, banned me because I said masks are shit. And now we find out Fauci yesterday's like, yeah, there's really no science on that. Sounds like something I said before the scumbags at YouTube tried to ban me from their platform. Guy, what was the title of the last YouTube video we put up? Do you remember? It was called Why I'm Quitting YouTube. But they love to say which they did. I'm not allowed back on that platform. But it was after I quit. Because I wasn't going to be cowed talking about masks and vaccines and all that stuff. And now we know. Blows up yesterday. I got that. I got a whole bunch of show today. Today's show sponsored by Blackout Coffee. Stop giving your money to woke companies. Don't care about you. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino today. Use coupon code Bongino for 20% off your first order. I got that. And I just want to open up the show today with an op-ed by McRaven, who was a higher up in the military, William McRaven. He wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post, and it is the perfect example of a guy who's made a career out of talking about leadership who doesn't understand the peril we're in the United States today. The answer to his op-ed is a big, fat, absolute no. Hey, using the internet without ExpressVPNs, like leaving your laptop exposed at the coffee shop table when you run to the bathroom. Most of the time, you're probably fine, but what if one day you come out of the bathroom and your laptop's gone? Every time you connect to an unencrypted network in hotels, airports, cafes, any hacker on that same network can gain access to your financial, medical, and any personal data on that device. Doesn't even take a lot of tech knowledge to hack someone. Just some cheap hardware is needed. A smart 12-year-old could do it. Your data is valuable. Hackers can make up to $1,000 per person selling personalized info on the dark web. Protect your data with ExpressVPN. They create a secure, encrypted tunnel ExpressVPN between your device and the internet so hackers can't steal your sensitive data. Take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. Plus, ExpressVPN's easy to use. Just fire up the app, click one button, and get protected. It works on all your devices. I use it because I don't want anyone watching one of this under their business. Phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay secure on the go. Secure your online data today. Going to expressvpn.com/Bongino. That's how you do it. expressvpn.com/Bongino. You can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/Bongino. All right, fellas, let's go. The answer to this op-ed by William McRaven is absolutely no. This guy was a higher up in our military. He goes and gives speeches about leadership, and he doesn't understand the peril we're in. Now, I don't really care about his intentions. He wrote this op-ed and went nuclear. How do we want America to be? We have the opportunity to continue to be viewed as exceptional. McRaven does not understand at all the left's tactics, which is amazing for a military guy. Throw that up on the screen. I want you guys to read this for a second. McRaven seems to think that he takes the Mitt Romney approach here, that if our side unilaterally disarms against the ever-encroaching left on our civil liberties, investigating Moms for Liberty, investigating pro-life advocates, spying on Donald Trump, investigating moms at school board meetings, he seems to have this approach that if we unilaterally, rhetorically disarm and start talking nice about the left, that they're going to stop. McRaven, Admiral, they're not going to stop. You're dealing with socialist scumbags. Here, he writes, I've been a vocal critic of the former president, but I took no joy in seeing him found guilty. He was the president, my president, whether you liked him or not. He'd been elected by the people, your colleagues. If we're going to continue to be viewed as exceptional America, then it's time for both sides to lay down their rhetorical arms and find a way to rise above. Admiral, there is zero chance this is going to happen. The left will never unilaterally disarm. Why? Anyone in the chat know? Why won't they unilaterally disarm? Anybody know? Why not? Because they're enjoying this. The left is enjoying this. The abuse, the obtaining and the abusing of power while they boot you in the ass is the point. You're getting stuck with. That's the point. This is a win for them. I am begging you as friends, folks in the chat, listeners, patriots, please, I'm begging you as a friend, do not fall for this misguided bullshit. You are not dealing with a group of people who regret what they did and are eager for a path back to sanity. They're enjoying the freaking chaos. You can fight back, or, to people saying, this is Mike etiquette right here. You can get a boot. It's not a boot, actually. It's a single. I'll put a boot on it right in your ass. Ass. If I wasn't violating HR regulations, I say, Keith, let's do a demo here. But the poor guy may get hurt. Right in the ass. Luckily, it's my good knee. If it was my bad one, I'd be in the hospital. Right? They're trying to kick you in the ass. It's not an accident. You can kick them back, or you can keep getting your ass kicked. I can't believe a military guy who's had such a successful military career really believes this. If we just put down our rhetorical arms, everything will be nice. Yeah, okay, sure. You had a guy testifying up on Capitol Hill, Dr. Fauci, the single most destructive figure in public health we've seen in modern times, who has basically lied about every single significant public health issue revolving COVID in the last 4 or 5 years, correct? 4 years, right? Causing untold damage. And the Democrats went out there yesterday and were like, man, Dr. Fauci, thank you for everything you did. You were so awesome. Folks, I want you to understand what you're dealing with. You were dealing with, on the left, a bunch of people perfectly content to destroy the United States. Do you understand that? Folks in the chat, you get that, right? You're not dealing with people who are looking for a way to bring sanity back and, quote, lay down their rhetorical arms. They are perfectly happy to sit in their own little nests with their own chaos agents and never leave. I got 2 clips at the beginning of the show. Guy changed the title for me today, but I always trust him because we got some Fauci stuff. I know you're interested in that, and I promise we got a lot on that. We got a lot of show. Don't you worry. I'm going to cover all of it, and I'm going to hold this guy's feet to the fire using his own freaking words. However, I got these 2 clips in the beginning. They are amazing. If you look at my Twitter and True Social, you see I titled the show a little different. But Guy's probably right. He's always right. Well, sometimes. Depends. He's never right about the weekend update, though. Liberals do not know how to debate. Avita, when you were in college, you're around a lot of liberals in college, University of Chicago, correct? Can you attest to this? They never leave their bubble, and the minute they're confronted, what do? You're a racist, a transphobe, a phobophobic, istophobic, right? Every time. Whenever you confront them on their ideas, they have no answer. I want you to watch 2 awesome examples of this. First, this is Dan Abrams. This is a far left-wing guy. I think he runs Mediaite. I don't have any personal beef with this cat at all, but he's definitely a lefty. He pretends he's not, but he is. Here's Dan Abrams. He goes on Megyn Kelly's show, and he's asked about this Trump case. And I want you to watch how he casually goes back and forth between, oh, this is some moral abomination, when he can't defend the legal. And when he can't defend his moral argument, he goes back to the legal one. You get what he said? Watch. This is it's actually a little bit clever, but Megyn Kelly ices him out on it. He doesn't have a legal case against Donald Trump because nobody knows what crime Donald Trump committed. No one, not even the judge. So he goes to the moral argument, ignoring that Joe Biden showers with his kids and Bill Clinton got in the Oval Office, right? Totally ignores that, okay? And then when he has no moral argument, because Megyn Kelly's like, well, that seems like kind of a weak place. So he goes to the legal argument and gets iced out there too. Watch this.
There's wrongdoing here, right? There was definitely wrongdoing. Whether it should have been a crime is a separate. What's the wrongdoing? What's the wrongdoing? All right, number one, it's paying $130,000 to a porn star to keep her quiet. That's to try to protect your campaign. Can we at least agree that's wrong?
That's not illegal. It's not
illegal. I didn't say it was. No. I just said moral versus legal.
Wrong. Are we talking moral?
I made it clear. I'm making it clear. For a minute, I'm talking about morality versus legality, right? There's no doubt that he engaged in.
All right, I'll tell. Here's my response to that, and I said this on my show the other day. I don't know what kind of weird marriage these two have. Same as I didn't know what kind of weird marriage Bill and Hillary Clinton had. So I don't know what their covenant is in terms of what he's allowed to do on the outside of his marriage.
But again, I don't mind the sex,
but when you're paying
problem. But I'm not talking about the sex. I'm talking about the $130,000 to keep her quiet to protect his campaign.
Immoral. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing.
Really? Okay. Look, again,
if somebody runs for office, they just lose the right to have any privacy. They just have to let us see all of their dirty laundry from the moment they declare forward, or somehow they've done something morally wrong or legally wrong.
When you're doing it to protect the campaign and you are spending money on it, then now I'm going to switch back to the legal. You are now crossing the line into legal problems. Right?
You aren't. That's absolutely not right. Incorrect at every level.
Did you guys? You see what he just did? You will always own these people in a debate. They never leave the nest, and when they leave the nest and get a conservative or Republican or even I don't know Megyn Kelly's politics, but she's not liberal at least, right? You get someone who actually knows what they're talking about. They completely fall apart. You see what he just did there? He starts making an argument about morality and sex, and then he gets wrecked on that argument when Megyn Kelly's like, you don't know what the hell their relationship or anything about her. He's like, well, it's not about the sex, it's about the law. And then he doesn't understand the law either. He's like, no, this was an illegal payment. She's like, no, it actually wasn't. That's not the standard. The standard is would the payment have existed regardless of the campaign? And given that the filing period for the payment was after the election, there's no evidence that this would have influenced the campaign at all. Zero evidence. These people, they never, ever leave the nest. Here's another one. It's a little over a minute. I don't usually run clips this long, but it's super important. You will wreck these people. We are not laying down our rhetorical arms, Admiral McRaven. It's not happening. Because these people are trying to kick us in the freaking ass. And I don't like getting my ass kicked, okay? It hurts. I'm not young anymore. I can't get on the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu mats and have a dude kick my ass. I'm not down for that. There's no laying down rhetorical arms. There's only fighting back. Here's the brilliant Michael Knowles. He's on Piers Morgan's show with some crazy lefty woman, and they ask the simplest of questions, bro. If this case is all on the up and up and this isn't lawfare, then just explain to me in layman's terms, what did Donald Trump do wrong? What's the crime? Watch this dope. As she can't even explain the crime, yet she supports him being prosecuted for the crime she doesn't even understand. This is fantastic. Watch this.
My fellow panelist here is celebrating that the rule of law has been vindicated and overturned 234 years of American legal tradition. I would challenge her to see if she could possibly articulate how and what crime Trump committed, because so far Alvin Bragg, the DA, has failed to do so. The judge in the case, Judge Merchan, has failed to do so. And they can't do it because Trump didn't commit any of the crimes for which he's been convicted.
Well, let's just ask quickly before I go to Kevin. Francesca, just on that point, what crime did Trump commit?
It was financial crimes. It was white collar crimes. That is exactly what they charged him. He was convicted on.
What was the crime?
It's New York State law.
I understand. What was the crime?
It is New.
Francesca,
I don't even like it. It is
hang on, Mark,
he just got convicted on 34 counts.
Francesca, what was the crime?
Of cooking the actual books.
What was the crime?
You are not allowed. So you are not allowed to use your own financial, your own money to pay off somebody, and then he logged it as something different. He logged it as just a regular payment, but he was actually paying off this porn star to keep quiet, which, if he hadn't been running for president, would not have mattered, but he was, and so it impacted campaign finance laws in New York State. Okay, that is what Juan Merchan just oversaw this. Okay. Alvin Bragg brought these charges because Michael Cohen is sick.
Okay, none of that's actually true, folks. That's why this imbecile can't articulate what the crime is. He did not, in fact, log the payment. They did through the accountant. It was a legal expense paid to a lawyer, and there is no New York State election law that was violated. They claim it was a federal law, despite the fact that the witness from the FEC was going to claim there was no federal election law violated, but the left-wing Democrat judge with the Democrat daughter wouldn't let him testify. Nothing she said there is true. We will never lay down our rhetorical arms, ever. Here's what they want to do. Here's how the left works. You ready? When you're prepared for this, you'll understand the damage done and the danger we're in right now. The left wants to constantly breach red lines, folks, because they know we're here. They know we're in distress. By the way, you guys just shut down the store link. It's back up, though. You just melted the store link. It's back up and working again. I realize you guys would like that so much. This is what they want to do. They want to constantly breach. Here's the red line. Breach it. Red line. Breach it. And after they breach every red line, they want you to accept it as the new norm. Raid Mar-a-Lago. Let's get back and lay down our rhetorical arms now that we've raided Mar-a-Lago. And then the mugshot picture, totally unnecessary in Georgia. Let's lay down our rhetorical arms and say, dude, this is a new standard now. You leave us alone, even though we've already done this to you. Let's put Donald Trump on trial. Let's convict him of a guilty charge on a crime no one can articulate. Oh, let's lay down our rhetorical arms. Do you see how this is done? It's like the left wants to score a touchdown, not play the 4 quarters and end the game after each score. It's the first quarter. We're going to end this here while we're ahead. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not forgetting about COVID. We're not forgetting about the vax. We're not forgetting about masks. We're not forgetting about Mar-a-Lago. We're not forgetting about the mugshot. We're not forgetting about the fake guilty conviction. We're not forgetting about any of this, lefties. Are you listening to us? We here, I don't care what you're hearing from Republicans on Capitol Hill. We are not forgetting about shit. Do you get that? We are going to hold every one of these people accountable. And if we can't find politicians that'll do it, then we're going to find someone else. There is absolutely zero chance we are going back to normal. I'll give you an example, by the way, of how this is going to work. You want to see how you make these people feel the pain of what they did? Remember when they dumped the filibuster? They wanted a majority only for judges on the DC appeals court. And McConnell was, I'm not a huge McConnell fan, but regardless, he said, fine. You want to dump the filibuster rule on appeals court judges? We're going to get people appointed to the Supreme Court in a strict majority. Remember the left shit their pants? For the first time, they were like, damn, these guys aren't kidding around. They don't understand anything but real material consequences, brothers and sisters. We are not laying down shit. You're going to pay for this. You're damn right you're going to pay for this. And if you don't have the balls to do it as a Republican, then get the hell off the stage. And by the way, we're going to get to Fauci next, but this is exactly why Dr. Fauci, this destructive force to humankind, was so rattled yesterday up on Capitol Hill. Republicans could have done a better job, granted, but there were some good moments. Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is why Fauci was so rattled. For the same reason as Dopey Lady in the Piers Morgan interview and Dan Abrams were so rattled. They're so used to living in this stupid bubble that the minute they get asked a common sense question, they melt like the Wicked Witch or the whatever. Who was the bad one? The West, the East, North, South, the West? How do you know that? It's a little disturbing. I know, but it wasn't a Star Wars question. If I asked a Star Wars question, he would know. He's like, that's Dark Melius or whatever, and then he melted too. Is there a Dark Melius? No, there isn't. Bullshit. I was just using a friend of mine's last name. I totally made that. All right. I got Fauci coming up. Some of the best clips. I'm going to show you. This guy, we're not letting any of this go, Fauci. Sorry, Doc. None of that's going to happen. Hey, today's show is sponsored by Byrna, B-Y-R-N-A. Byrna's a game changer for self-defense. You know, I'm always looking for good new tools out there for self-defense. When it comes to protecting your family, it's not just about having a firearm. It's about having a number of options. Lethal force is not always the answer for every situation. Say there's an impending threat. Your first reaction is to reach for a lethal means of self-defense. With Byrna, now there's a way to effectively defend yourself and de-escalate a situation without the irreversible consequences of deadly force. Byrna's non-lethal pistol launcher, equipped with tear gas and kinetic ammo, incapacitates an attacker for up to 40 minutes. I love this product. A guy I work with, or drives for us once in a while, has his product, loves it too. No need for the nuclear option when you just need protection to ensure you can defuse the situation and drive the threat away immediately. I like to have a non-lethal option available when I can. Be shipped right to your door. It's a great gift idea for dads for Father's Day. Give him something he will really love. Check it out. Go to Byrna, byrna.com/Dan now. Check it out. It's all I ask. You're going to love it. For an exclusive 10% discount to my listeners today, that's Byrna.com/Dan, Byrna.com/Dan, BYRNA. Go check it out. All right. So as I said, Fauci melted yesterday, but for some background, so we have an establishment point to work from, because I'm assuming there are some people here, some people just found us in the last few months. Our audience has absolutely exploded thanks to you and spreading the word. I love you all. I really mean it. I appreciate it. We don't really market that much. It's word of mouth, this show. Fauci cannot run from this. This is Grabian, right? I saw it on Maze Moore's accounts, but this is Grabian. Here is Fauci. Keep in mind, the Hippocratic oath for a medical professional is what? Do no harm, folks. The first thing is don't do whatever you're doing, just do no harm first. Fauci violated every single rule of that when he jumped the gun on COVID, and we didn't understand the ramifications of how infectious it was or how deadly it was. Here's a history of Dr. Anthony Fauci in about a minute, and don't ever let him run away or turn his back on this. Check this out.
You're really criticizing science because I represent science.
If you're vaccinated, you really don't need to worry about getting it in a way that's serious or transmitting it.
That is true. That is correct, Chris. It'll either protect you completely against infection, and the chances are very likely that you'll not be able to transmit it to other people. The risk is extremely low of transmitting it to anybody else. Full stop. Vaccinated people are clearly capable of transmitting the infection. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better. If people are not wearing masks, then maybe we should be mandating it. I often myself wear 2 masks.
And I'm quoting you now, at the population level, masks work at the margins maybe 10%. To hear that they only work at the margins maybe 10% would make a lot of people ask, okay, then why was I wearing a mask?
You're really attacking not only Dr. Anthony Fauci, you're attacking science.
Folks, there isn't a single figure responsible for the absolute decimation of faith in public health infrastructure. There isn't anyone on planet Earth who's done more damage than this guy. I think it was Cernovich who said on Twitter X this morning, he said something important I need you all to digest, put a little brain tattoo on you right here. He said, if there's a pandemic in the future, which is going to happen, folks, it's going to happen. We live on planet Earth with pathogens that are everywhere, viruses, bacteria, amoebas, fungal infections. They just part of living on planet Earth. There is going to be another viral or bacterial outbreak that is going to be really serious in the future. Fact. This guy's done so much freaking damage by bullshitting people about masks and vaccines and the lab leak and social distancing and aerosols versus droplets. This guy's been wrong on everything. That the saddest part is there's going to be some pandemic, and people are going to see, was it Cernovich who said, there's going to have to be bodies piling up outside someone's front door before they believe these people again. And that's the shame of it, because this is real. We live in a dangerous place. You've had Spanish flu just in the last 500 years. Just go through the history books about plagues and viral infections. It's going to happen. And nobody is going to trust these idiots. And I blame this guy for 90% of it. He could have shut this down right away, but he didn't. Now, I want to ask you this. I know with the masks, man, nothing pisses me off more. Do I have a mask? I can't even. Is there a mask? I may have thrown them all out. I had one for a demo. I must have thrown it out. I didn't even want to see it anymore. Can you imagine putting this stupid ass face diaper on your face and thinking this was going to stop a microscopic virus? Now, that was bad enough. That was bad enough. But here's the worst part. Imagine all the kids that got sent to school. Snot, moisture all over this thing, bacteria, fungus growing in it. These kids that got sent to school when these public health morons like Fauci knew the entire time this thing wasn't doing shit. Here he is yesterday testifying to exactly that. Now you see why I was so freaking furious about the mask thing, which led to this conflict with me and ScrewTube and them ultimately banning me for telling you guys masks are shit. Here's Fauci telling you what I told you the entire time, and I ain't even a freaking doctor. Check this out.
And going back to what I said before, all of that is in the context of, at the time, 4 to 5,000 people a day were dying.
Scientific evidence for that?
Excuse me?
Mask mandates for children under 5, there's scientific evidence supporting that?
There was no study that did masks on kids before. You couldn't do the study. You had to respond to an epidemic that was killing 4 to 5,000 Americans per
Vaccine
day.
I'm gonna give you a language warning here because I'm really sorry. I can't contain it. I'm trying my best to keep a lid on this, but we got fucked. All of us. These losers knew the entire time. They stole our taxpayer dollars, used this patina of credibility with their faux scientific credentials to stick it 6 feet deep, brothers and sisters. They knew the entire time this was bullshit. Listen, I don't want to get into names, but there's a family in my neighborhood I really like. Their kid is not in a school anymore because of this bullshit mask mandate. It affected my entire, you have no idea. I didn't go out there and tell my personal stories during this, a lot of them, because I was going through a lot. You have no idea the damage this did to my family with my youngest daughter. They stuck this freaking thing on your kid's face, this snot rag, moisture, fungus, bacteria infected piece of garbage on your kid's face because this chump and coward didn't have the balls to say what now everybody knows to be true. There wasn't a shred of science proving these things worked. I use this example. Go back and look, man. Where's audience archivist Judy? I haven't seen you in a while. Go find the episode when this mask thing went out. And I told people, can you imagine? Let me give you an analogy. This is not for kids, but it's real. I don't mean this to be funny. I mean it to be real. Imagine condoms, right? Imagine everyone who wears a condom gets an STD and gets a woman pregnant. Would you continue to wear it? Oh my gosh, Dan, that's some example. Is it not apropos? You're saying it's a prophylactic medical device. This mask will stop X. Yet every single person who wore a mask got COVID. Every single one. Imagine you put on and every woman gets pregnant and you get an STD. Would you continue to try this device? No, you wouldn't, because you'd be an asshole. How many young people, if Eda wants to know, died from suicide? How many people are in counseling right now? How many kids lost their social network of friends in critical development years, folks? I had cancer at the time, so I had a quarantine anyway. Quarantine sucked and was stupid, was the dumbest freaking thing ever. I don't care who did it. But my mental health, I had to stay home anyway. I had cancer. I had no immune system. There were kids in there critical. Look at this. Youth suicide rates increased during COVID-19 pandemic. Shit, I wonder why, man. Yeah, that's his gang, the NIH. The NIAD and the NIH. How many people in shit relationships were holed up with people? How many divorces are there? Can you understand the damage this guy did with this bullshit? Sorry, man, I'm in no mood today to play cutesy, nice. That. Look at this, man. Suicide rates blowing up. People are dead because of these people. And by the way, he thought this was your ideological BS. Play down one more. Here was Fauci. I think this was some audio book he was doing or something with a guy or an interview. Here's Fauci talking about how they were going to force you to put masks on, force you to take the vaccine. They were going to force companies to do it. And once they made your life difficult, folks, this is his own words, that your ideological BS, which all turned out to not be BS, but be true, his was BS, that all that ideological BS was going to go away. Listen to this.
Once people feel empowered and protected legally, you were going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. It's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit and they get vaccinated.
The pain was the point. Fellas, the pain was the point. Don't listen to me, listen to him. Now he's out there crying, oh my gosh, oh look, all these people don't like me. Good, I condemn any throw ever, period. Done it over and over. I get them all the time. It sucks and it's wrong. But what, you don't want to be held accountable for the damage you did? You're not my orthodontist, bro. You were being paid, what, $800,000 a year by us, taxpayers, me, and everyone in the chat. You paid too. You don't want to be held accountable? Now you're a victim? Give me a break. Here's the worst part of the whole thing. The great Mike Benz, the two Mikes, right? Mike Davis, Mike Benz, we love him. Mike Benz has tweeted something yesterday. I'm going to put it up in a minute. I'm going to take a quick break. It's probably glad I took my NATO guys before. Need the blood pressure to kind of go down. I don't want to have a heart attack on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, the worst part about this whole thing, yes, the worst part, masks and vaccines, is this entire thing was all machined. All of these fake narratives about masks, vaccine, and social distancing for what? Anyone in the chat know? To steal the election. 100%. I'll show you a tweet by Ben. Something we had brought up. If I could find it, if I do, I'll put it on tomorrow. We had pushed this. Let me take a break. Don't go anywhere, please. I got a lot of show left. Hey, I can't get over how much better I'm sleeping. I need it now that I have a Helix mattress, HELAX. I'm feeling so much better. The Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses, including their award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections. The Helix Plus, a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, and the Helix Kids mattress designed for those growing bodies. Take the Helix Sleep Quiz. Find your perfect mattress in under 2 minutes, and your personalized mattress is shipped straight to your door free of charge. Helix offers a 100-night trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new Helix mattress. Every Helix mattress has a hybrid design combining individually wrapped steel coils on the base with premium foam layers on top. It's the perfect combination of comfort and support. Even better, the setup's fast and really easy. Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/Dan. That's helixsleep.com/Dan. It's their best offer yet, and it won't last long. HELIX. With Helix, better sleep starts now. And our last sponsor today, Blackout Coffee. I needed some Blackout Coffee. Hey, here's another one. I know I talk about the cinnamon French toast a lot. I talk about the blueberry crumble because they taste freaking awesome. But you got to try this stuff too. The smooth finish light roast. The stuff is awesome. You know I love Blackout Coffee. What? I haven't thrown it in a while. Wait, Michael, you got to be careful. You got to brief Michael. I throw stuff typically during the show. I don't want you to get hit because I don't want to be sued for some HR violation. Everybody ready? Okay, count down. This is my Joe Montana. Yes. Did somebody catch it? They all missed it, of course. Thankfully, it didn't. They're blaming the light now. They're Blackout Coffee, and it flies good too. Listen, I love Blackout Coffee. They love 2 things. The owner, John's a great guy. They love America and they love coffee. But here's the deal. I love America too, but loving America is about producing a good product. Don't produce some garbage product, expect people to buy it. They use premium beans. Everybody who buys this coffee sends me an email, a text, a True Social. They love it. It's great. I'm proud to recommend it. The folks at Blackout Coffee ship within 48 hours of roasting. It's incredible. Do me a favor. Just try it out. That's all I'm asking. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. See what I'm talking about. They're the real deal. Don't drink that woke corporate junk coffee. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino or use coupon code Bongino for 20% off your first order. Make the switch to Blackout Coffee. I'm laughing because Evita didn't even flinch. That thing was headed right for her. She was like, she was assuming that Michael was like going to swat that sucker right out of the There were two very tall men. Justin's like 7'2", and Michael's like 7'1", like Manute Bol and Patrick Ewing over there. So they felt like Evita's like, I'm okay, don't worry about it. All right, back to the show. So this is the worst part about the whole thing. Back in the day when we were talking about this and there were people were threatening to boycott us and YouTube was trying to ban us, we were telling you masks are garbage and be careful with this vaccine and all this other stuff. Back when we were telling, one of the things I told you about is they are going to use this COVID stuff to fleece this election, folks. They want mail-in balloting so bad. Why? Hey, Guy, pull up the lip tack thing if you can. You know, in the New York Times, I hate to do this to you, but we got to see this. Never. I know you never say it. No, it's not like it. They knew. Everybody tracking with me? This is important. The left knew mail-in balloting was the easiest way to steal the election. Folks, none of this is hard. If you go to an election representative at a school and you vote or whatever the election place is going to be, okay, and you show ID, it's not impossible to cheat. Keep that up there. But it's really hard. Mail-in balloting, you're dropping it in a drop box. There's nobody there that knows it's even you. How did the left know they could cheat by mail-in balloting? If you're watching, you already know. Because they wrote about it 10 years ago. New York Times. New York Times. Error and fraud at issue as absentee voting rises. This was about mail-in balloting. Folks, this is the New York Times. Quote, yet votes cast by mail are less likely to be counted, more likely to be compromised, and more likely to be contested than those cast in a voting booth, statistics show. The more you force people to vote by mail, this guy said, the more invalid ballots you will generate. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not the Wall Street Journal or Breitbart. That's the New York Times. Listen to me. The left knew mail-in balloting was easier to cheat. They wrote about it. So they thought to themselves, what kind of narrative can we push to scare people away from voting in person in swing states and red states? Ha, got it. Mike Benz is right on it. At Mike Benz Cyber. You may be right, he notes, but the CDC, remember the 6-foot distance rule, folks? Stay 6 feet apart. 6 feet. Was that going to actually stop transmission of the virus? No. Where did the rule come from? I don't know. We made it up. He notes the 6-foot distance rule was interim proposed by the CDC in February of 2020 and became permanent in March. This CDC has the receipt there from March of 2020, shows the CDC specifically pushed mail-in voting for the election 8 months away from the very start of the rules. Folks, it was right in front of our eyes the entire time. They understood mail-in balloting was prone to fraud. They freaking wrote about it, and they knew it was the easiest way to steal the most important election of our lifetime. So what did they do? They had to keep the COVID hysteria going no matter what. Put your masks on. It's going to kill you. Get this vaccine. Force this vaccine. 6-foot distancing. Don't show up in person. They could not let the hysteria ebb. This was all one big mother scam. The entire thing. Oh, the virus is real. The response was a total scam. And they also wanted to blame Trump for it. They knew if this thing and its genesis in the Wuhan lab, that if it came from China and that Donald Trump had called it from the start when he indicated this was from China, they knew that would be a destructive narrative for them because Donald Trump had been talking about the danger of China the entire time. So they hid the lab leak because it was about following the money and following the power. New York Post, ladies and gentlemen, we know the damn thing leaked from the lab. No sensible person believes this thing didn't leak from the lab. You got that Post article? The evidence is overwhelming. Damning new report finds China lab leak most likely the source of COVID-19. No shit. And blames U.S. for pumping millions into the dangerous research. We financed this. Fauci's people, they financed this. NIH grants, through EcoHealth. This money made its way to China. What do you think they were doing with it? Developing new Legos? Here's Jim Jordan yesterday. Nails Fauci. Fauci, who now claims he had an open mind about the lab leak. Oh, we got receipts. Did he really have an open mind about the lab leak? This guy is full of shit. Listen to this.
Do you agree that there was a push to downplay the lab leak theory?
Not on my part.
Really?
Really?
Wow. I think most of the country would find that amazing. I still got 11 seconds.
But look at the facts. I've kept an open mind throughout the entire process.
All right, I yield back.
Holy Moses, folks. You believe the level of full of shit this guy is just astounding. He acts like there aren't receipts everywhere. Here's a good account at War Clandestine. Fauci perjured himself, he notes. Fauci claims he kept an open mind in regard to the lab leak. Here are the NIH emails confirming that's a lie. 4/16/20. Director Francis Collins emails Fauci about how to, quote, put down this very destructive conspiracy about the lab leak. Fauci responds, I would not do anything about this right now. It's a shiny object that'll go away with time. Does that sound like it? Here's the emails right there, bro. I would not do anything about this right now. It's a shiny object that'll go away with time. They want to put down a destructive conspiracy. Does that sound like an open mind? He said it right. It's so open. I mean, it's open to interpretation, fellas. What exactly did he mean? What did they mean by a destructive conspiracy? And don't worry, it'll go away with time. What did they mean? It's so open to interpretation by just, sensible people out there. Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene had it right. She went after this guy yesterday, and he deserved every bit of it. This guy has not earned his title. This guy's not a doctor. This guy might have went to medical school and can call himself a doctor, but I wouldn't call this guy doctor. It was the last damn thing I did. I wouldn't call him doctor, just like I wouldn't call Jill Biden doctor. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene going after him, and the response was hilarious. The Democrats melted down at this one again because they can't take the reality that this guy, their little golden calf god Fauci. Yeah, watch the clip.
Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor. You're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes. No, I don't need your answer. I want to talk about this right here.
Mr. Chairman,
Fauci,
objection.
I reclaim my
Mr.
time.
Objection.
I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time, Mr. Raskin.
Gentlelady will suspend.
Mr. Chairman,
point of order.
Just in terms of the rules of decorum, are we allowed to deny that a doctor is a doctor just because we don't want him to be a doctor?
Yes, because in my time, that man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked, and he belongs in prison.
Will suspend.
Now, you know what's fascinating about this? When, quote, Judge Merchan kept calling President Trump Mr. Trump, the left didn't say shit. Matter of fact, the left loved every second of it. And yet a doctor who doesn't act like a doctor and causes untold damage to faith in public health that in the future could get millions of people killed if an explosive new pandemic emerges. We're supposed to address this guy by the title doctor, this honorific, as if he deserved it. Do no harm is correct. Address this guy however I want. This cutesy time stuff, folks, is done. Folks, some play dumb like Fauci, but some are really dumb. I want to go back to the beginning of the show with this McRaven thing about it's time to lay down our rhetorical arms. It is not. We are dealing with lunatics. This guy took no responsibility yesterday. These people are absolute frauds. They don't even care about looking like hypocrites. You will address him as doctor. Really? You'll address the president as what? Mister? You can kiss my ass. Some of them play dumb. Some of them really are dumb. You see George Soros' kid, Alexander Soros, making the rounds now, taking over for dad, trying to destroy the United States, using their influence to do it. I want you to listen to how dumb this guy is. He keeps talking about when things were really good, ignoring when were things really good? When were things really good? the Trump years before you destroyed our lives with this pandemic that you guys financed. The Reagan years were pretty damn good. The post-World War II period was really good. I want you to listen to this guy. He's either really dumb or really disingenuous, but this cut points to how much these people really hate the United States and why you will never put down your rhetorical arms, because these are the kind of people coming for you. Listen to this.
We just heard this point about untrustworthy people, and we talked about things in the United States like checks and balances, which aren't written anywhere but are customs. And one man, Donald Trump, literally came in and just took that all away. But when I see this, when I look at this, more globally regarding democracy, I also say to myself, when was this great time that everybody got along so well and things were going so great?
When was a great time? Does this guy understand, one, the time we're living in now? You've got a war in the Middle East. You've got a war breaking out in Ukraine with Russia with nuclear powers. You've got inflation we haven't seen since the last shitbag Democrat was in charge in the 80s. You've got a national debt where the interest is going to cost us more than the military soon. The interest alone, we're on track for that. You've got an open border with 10 million people in the country, a fentanyl crisis, a public health crisis, an institutional trust crisis with the FBI. And this absolute dipshit is asking, when was this time? The shit time you're talking about, Alexander Soros, is right now. And it's everywhere. Remember yesterday I was talking about anecdotes and single subject designs, how the left is like, oh, that's just one guy, one minority voter, Hispanic voter, talking about how bad Biden sucks. It's not just one. They're everywhere. I'm going to start pulling these. Listen to this local news report, Hat Tip RNC Research. Here's a business owner. This guy's talking about how bad the economy is and why he has to charge consumers extra. It's not because he feels like it. No one wants to charge more. You'll go out of business. He has to, or he's going to go out of business because he's paying more. Watch this.
A new USDA report found food prices increased by 25% between 2019 and 2023. Most of that was at the grocery store. Shoppers say they've seen the biggest increases in dairy and meat prices. They're also choosing to eat out less as menu prices climb as well.
Like rib tips used to be $35. Now they're $70, $75 for a case. We hadn't raised our prices in many, many years, and we were finally forced to because the cost of everything has gone so skyrocket.
Folks, they are desperate to distract you from the hellhole this guy has caused. I have never seen, I put this out on Truth and X this morning, I have never seen a more destructive force in the White House. Did you see this guy today commented on the Middle East in his Time magazine article again? Everything this guy touches, he destroys Biden. This kid-sniffing, plagiarizing, sociopathic, lying, fake civil rights activist, daughter-showering loser. Everything he touches, he destroys. And now his kid, it's double today, double dark mode. Now his kid is on trial in Delaware for a firearms violation. I wrote... Is that even an option? I didn't even know you guys. If you're watching on Rumble, you don't know what you're missing if you're listening at home. I didn't even know. The media is so desperate to cover up this guy's massive failings. They're everywhere. All the lying, the autobiographical inaccuracies. I was a trucker. I grew up in the black church. I went to shul. Everything this guy says is bullshit. I'm trying to take the temperature because I'm losing my mind in today's show because I'm so freaking pissed off after Fauci and that stupid ass op-ed by McRaven that we should all disarm while the left shits all over the country. Not doing it. Sorry, not on my watch. I'm going to start doing these narrative alerts. Here's the one. Look, this one, folks, this is a knee slapper if I've ever seen one. So Hunter Biden's on trial and the media is dying now because remember, nobody was above the law except the Biden family. So now they don't know what to do because they were shitting on Donald Trump for a fake crime none of them can describe, but they've got a real crime in Hunter Biden. So they've got to reframe this somehow. Here it is. Axios, Mike Allen, Biden's boundless love. President Biden says he has boundless love for his son, Hunter. confidence in him and respect for his strength as jury selection began. And here's the Republicans' pounce. Why it matters. Republicans want to focus on the case in an attempt to draw attention from President Trump's convictions. Oh, no. Oh, no, no. No, President Trump. I saw a meme. It was classic. There's a meme going around on X. It's a liberal lady with the Trump mugshot shirt on. It says liberals with the Trump mugshot shirt on. And then it's a guy staring at the liberal lady saying, conservatives wearing the exact same mugshot shirt. I don't think you understand. This conviction is not an asset for you idiots on the left. It's an asset for us. And I'm going to tell you something. Get ready for it. This may piss you off, but I'm only here to tell the truth. I'm not here to make anybody happy. I'm here to make everybody more informed. Folks, Hunter Biden is likely it's going to be a hung jury or may even be acquitted. Why? Because he's innocent? I think the evidence is overwhelming. However, that is what the Republic's already dead. Don't be cowed. Don't even be sad about it. Why not, Dan? There's no justice now, folks. Justice. You think Hunter Biden's going to get justice? Justice is dead. It'll highlight one last time before the election how the justice system is dead, how Biden's family is insulated from any wrongdoing despite overwhelming evidence. And yet with Donald Trump, they can fabricate a crime they can't even describe and try to put him in jail. Don't shed a tear over it, man. They're going to go with this. He has boundless love. Love? Joe Biden loves his kid? Loves how? Loves how? His kid's got a massive drug problem. And this kid-sniffing loser sends his kid overseas and in meetings to influence peddle for him so that the family can make money when his kid has a drug problem. And so he lets his kid, Hunter, with a drug problem, take on all the legal liability of this unquestionably immoral, potentially illegal influence peddling scheme. He sticks his kid out there and tries to insulate himself from it, and he loves his son. Bullshit. This guy's an awful father. This guy is scum. Nobody would do that to a kid with a drug problem if they cared. I need my family to get rich so I can benefit from it. Hey, I don't care you got a drug problem. You go out there and earn. What is this, the mob? Folks, you take this boundless love bullshit head on. You don't even think about it. You take this head on and you hit it from the front every single time. Boundless love for his son. He was a hustler, Biden, and a stupid one. His son, he thought, could insulate him from the process while they all got rich. No way we're passing on this. You hammer this guy. Cutesy time is over, man. Nobody's laying down any rhetorical arms. And folks, it's way past time to expose these people. Way past time. We are in real jeopardy here, man. The country is in actual distress. The justice system is falling apart. Don't shed one single tear when Hunter Biden gets off, because he's gonna get off. It'll show everyone again right before the election. Here's what's at stake. And you know what? If they vote for that, the country's dead anyway. Do you understand where I'm going with this? I don't mean to beat this thing to death, man. But do you understand where I've got a lot more stuff, but this is important. You understand this? If and when Hunter Biden gets off, if Joe Biden is the nominee and wins again, ladies and gentlemen, it's dead anyway. You might as well show them what they're voting against. The justice system is dead. Here, look at this, just a news article. You think this is justice? Hunter Biden's sitting in court in a case he should have been, they tried to get him off on, and his legal team screwed it up. Just the news, Justice Department investigated the conservative group Moms for Liberty in the same manner as the Ku Klux Klan. You think this is justice? What about this tweet by David Sachs, who's a tech investor? He notes the business records double standard, that Hillary Clinton's campaign was fined $8,000 for federal campaign finance laws violation. Why? They reported the Steele dossier as legal services and legal compliance consulting. Really? Only fine? She wasn't criminally charged? He notes it was an attempt to actually interfere in the election. Hillary's campaign was headquartered in New York State. meaning it would fall under the exact same laws Donald Trump was, quote, prosecuted under. Interesting. This is a great tweet by Sachs. What's the distinction between Hillary's campaign violation versus the recent news involving Trump? With Hillary's violation, there wasn't a Manhattan prosecutor politically motivated to bring an unprecedented case to trial. Yes, sir. This is what you're voting for, brothers and sisters. Look at that. $8,000 fine. Donald Trump looking at 7,422 years in jail on a fake freaking crime. I've had enough. You have too. Again, folks, you want to buy a shirt, it's up there for you. Again, I'm not in the clothing business, but you all seem to like it. So want the shirt, check it out. Store.bongino.com. Way to express your outrage at what's going on. That's why I did it. Remember my 10, 10, and 10 rule, huh? You've got from now until November. Send 10 emails, call 10 friends, make 10 social media posts about how to get registered and how to vote. It's not optional. I'm sorry. It's no time for being nice. It's an easy thing to ask. You got a country to save. You're the leaders we've been waiting for. Hey, download the Rumble app. We would really appreciate it. It's free. Rumble's been blowing up. We've been dominating the video world. We really appreciate that. If you want to watch the show on web and you don't have the app, you can go to rumble.com/Bongino. We're live, as you can see, every day at 11 a.m. The radio show is on the Rumble channel, too, from 12 to 2 on locals the entire time. And also, please give us a follow on Apple and Spotify. We've been rocking up the charts there as well. It's all free. We really appreciate it. Just click that follow button. Thanks a lot, folks. I'll see you back here tomorrow on the radio show in a few minutes.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show.